When Love Takes Over by Kelly Rowland and David Guetta, my guest of the day is on the phone.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
It's my COO's Working From Home series, and pleased to welcome onto the show for the very first time Albert Almeida. He's COO at live events BookMyShow. Good morning, Albert. How are you doing?
I'm good, Hrishi. Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, I want to start by asking about friends, family, extended family. Is everybody home and safe? We'd like to know that, Albert.
Yes, Hrishi. I think we're fortunate to be in the place that we are. We all have homes, so we're here quarantined and doing our duty to ourselves, our families, especially the aged ones, as well as to civic conscious and staying confined. I hope the same is the case with you and your family.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for asking. Theatre Live is so exciting. Please tell our listeners about it. I think for all theatre watchers, this during lockdown is just a special treat that BookMyShow is bringing everybody.
Yeah, Hrishi, thank you so much for asking, because Theatre Live is really one of those special initiatives. It's one more from the home initiatives and the latest in BookMyShow's virtual home entertainment series. So coming to theatre from home, it's really what we've curated for theatre lovers, and it's aptly called Theatre Live, The Stage Comes Home. We've been able to curate a 10-day long series. It started on 5th of April and will go on till the 15th. So what it really does is it brings some of the biggest names in theatre with performances varied from dramatized readings to monologues to poetry recitations, storytelling, live music, and even pure theatrics. I think it was a great initiative because it came to us from a very dear old friend of BookMyShow and veteran theatre actor Meher Charya Das. She's helped us curate this by speaking to a lineup of artists. So we have a compelling lineup for Theatre Live, and collaborated with our own theatrical creative head Anahita Uberoy in getting this going. So it features many popular names, I would say, like Kunal Roy Kapoor, Manvi Gagru, Suchitra Pillai, Arif Zakaria, Sonali Kulkarni, etc.
What I really like is that it's pretty genre agnostic, because you have somebody like an English theatre stalwart in the form of Denzel Smith, and you also have somebody who's part of the Urdu fraternity, the Kissebazi, as well as Hindi theatre, which is Danish Hussain. So pretty much all encompassing in terms of genre for theatre lovers. Is that so?
Rishi, the important thing was that we just wanted to keep it really open, very, very fluid, and be that catalyst that connects, theatre lovers with their favorite theatre stars. And given the fact that this is unrehearsed, not produced, we just wanted to make the artists feel equally comfortable, that you're opening from your home to your fans. So feel comfortable enough to do and do it really well. So that's really the way the curation.
And that's what we love about the curation, actually. More with Albert Almeida up ahead. He's COO Live Entertainment at BookMyShow. Slipping in some Bob Marley in the mix. It's Sun is Shining with Danish DJ Funkstar Deluxe. This is 94.3 Radio 1 and I'm HrishiKay. It's Yorkshire man Ollie Mers along with Rizzle Kicks, the hip-hop duo from Brighton in the United Kingdom, on my CEO's Working From Home series. A corporate head honcho and veteran of many battles from JWT to Sony to Hungama Digital, Albert Almeida is currently COO BookMyShow. He's on the phone.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
Now, I'm going to come back to some other really interesting stuff that you're doing. I mean, there's live in your living room that happened, and also the fact that we're in the midst of some amazing stuff as far as Live from HQ is concerned with a spoken word special. So just elaborate a little bit of that, please.
So I'd like to skip from HQ because our journey with this entire initiative started with Live from HQ. The first phase was what we opened the week: Kuhad, Indian Ocean, Kamakshi Khanna, Karsh Kale, and IC Democracy. And I think it was really about bringing some of the big guys who were ready and spontaneously willing to kind of go live to connect with their stars and their fans. And all this wouldn't have been possible actually with our friends and partners, Big Bad Wolf, who were quick off the blocks and pretty aggressive in putting this through. So I think what we really did was we used the platform very effectively to reach out to these artists who may have affinity for their content. And while these concerts would perform live and Facebook, users who would register on BookMyShow would get a confirmation with a link to their page and an alert closer to time. The flow was pretty seamless. Platform was used exactly like consumers would come to us in the past to say, what's happening live in your city, I want to book a ticket, and the flow would remain exactly the same. So it was a very successful initiative. We saw a lot of great numbers for these guys because we used our reach to reach the community opportunity. And I think everybody was holed up at home wondering what to do next and how to get some live content. So it all fell into place pretty well. So Live in Your Living Room was again one of those initiatives, but it was like Live from HQ, which was at 9 p.m. every day. Live in Your Living Room started at 5 in the evening and went on with Ankur Tiwari, Jonita Gandhi, Lisa Mishra, Arman Malik, among others, performing for their fans live from their Instagram handles. So I think between these two properties, happy to say, Hrishi, that we were a little skeptical. If you look at all the numbers that both our platform validated as well as what we got from Facebook, we actually served close to 500,000 viewers across these two properties. So aside from the numbers, I think we had a pretty healthy opening, and therefore we naturally followed it up with the next lineup. And the next lineup was Live from HQ, the spoken word from HQ. So all in all, I think we built a period of time. We built a reasonably fair amount of content offering. And in fact, it's moving into newer things. We're getting more and more people calling in. We're calling partners, friends, etc., asking them if they want to do more stuff. And so it's going to be a pretty interesting and busy time, even in the times of the lockdown, because like I said, more and more friends, partners collaborating, and we have a lot lined up for viewers at home.
Super stuff, and more lined up with Albert Almeida up ahead on this show. It's my CEO's Working From Home series. Let's do some mojo and lady. The boys from 5 Seconds of Summer with Hey Everybody. The dynamic Albert Almeida, COO, BookMyShow, is my guest on the CEO's Working From Home series. More chat.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
Now, I want to know about your personal work from home timetable. And, obviously, BookMyShow employees have to now adapt to the work from home situation. So are you just going with the flow, Albert, or have you set yourself a timetable? And obviously, you've got to also keep your teams motivated. So how's that going?
Yeah, so I think I'd like to speak about the employees first. And I think the first thing we did was to anticipate an issue work from home close to a week before the government made it mandatory. So for us, the health and safety of our citizen was paramount, and we took that initiative. So we've been locked down for a week longer. One thing I'd like to say, Hrishi, is I always believe that we're a company with both company and the little gestures that money can't buy. And I want to just name one such initiative that has been put in place in. And it's all about of 12 with obviously one person, and it's not based on seniority. It could be a person at the junior level, it could be anyone at any level who takes that group need to update the group via WhatsApp at 10 in the morning and 10 in the evening, and just do simple things saying that all is up, is backed with, an emergency response team where should there be anything unfortunate, we would be able to, kind of reach out. Besides this, we've kind of enabled stuff, which is fitness sessions and also specific upskilling courses that range from soft skills to data science, technology, etc. So employees can opt to learn these new skills during this downtime and make them far more effective in their jobs. And mind you, all this is absolutely free of cost. We've also started, webinars on several topics, to do with all the work that we're involved with, which is entertainment, culture, etc. Our employees and saying that you need to kind of get a lot more familiar with all the genres that you work and deal with. I think one more initiative that I want to talk about, which is in the making as we speak. It's a community kitchen that is being set up at our office canteen kitchen, where over 1,000 meals will be produced every day and distributed in the area for those in need, out of office, etc. And this was Ashish's idea, and he's personally driving this initiative. As coming to work from home timetable, what do I say? Except for staying safe and confined to the home, it's business as unusually usual, I should say, because unusual because we're not live with any gigs or pushing people to get out and catch some live action. Instead, we're doing just the reverse, something we never thought we'd ever do, which is programming live from home to audiences at home and urging them to stay safe. It's usual because we've kind of slipped into a new normal, and that is a packed calendar with colleagues, partners, and clients, where we're all exchanging notes, plotting and planning for the post-COVID-19 era. So in timing terms, yes, it often gets longer, and you're always accessing accessible at home, so no reason not to be there. So Hrishi, I'm just want to say that it's getting into theories. Would like to believe that this too shall pass, and we resilient Indians will bounce back like no one else.
Very beautifully put. I mean, extraordinary circumstances need extraordinary measures, and I'm so glad that BookMyShow and yourself in particular are staying so motivated. More with Albert Almeida, CEO, BookMyShow. And guys, that community kitchen, that langar idea is something that I think all corporates could adopt. So big ups to Ashish Rajani and the team for driving that. It's Kylie Minogue amping up our playlist. This is Time Bomb, only on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. My name is HrishiKay, Mr. Lawa Shaggy with Love Me. Albert Almeida is my guest of the day. He's CEO, BookMyShow, and this is my CEO's Working From Home series.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
So is monetization in the COVID era going to be difficult? I mean, what are the challenges for the activations business in particular, Albert?
Hrishi, at this point in time, we're not thinking monetization at all. It's just health and safety of the nation and the world at large. Like we're an organization that caters largely to India and parts of Asia and the Middle East, but we depend on the world for supply, and therefore for us, it's a larger thing that we're concerned about for the longer term. Coming back to business, I think given that millions of people come to us regularly when they think entertainment, we have an obligation to help them find new avenues, and we can now serve communities that earlier would be constrained by geography. So I don't want to talk about monetization and revenue potential, but early signs do tell us that there is a vast how consumer behavior evolves as the situation progresses. So who knows? There may be a new normal, there may be live, and there may be live that needs to be delivered home. It's like, you go out to eat, but you also want home delivery. This may differ, but in delivering live to home, maybe you could reach out to a much larger audience, like I said, who's not geographically constrained, and therefore the ticket size is against a concert where I think it's a much richer experience and the ticket size be larger. So I don't want to kind of second guess anything at this point in time, but I think we're living and learning.
Business leaders, CEOs and CEOs from India and abroad who've inspired you, and why, Albert? So maybe you can pick one internationally, one Indian, or just one that's all encompassing.
Hrishi, interesting that you ask, and there are so many names that come to mind in both internationally and locally. But there are two gentlemen given the current times, I believe I'd like to name particularly the global guy being Bill Gates and locally being Azim Premji. I think they're standout human beings for their generosity and the work they continue to do.
Inspiring books you've read and how they've inspired you. Are you able to be a voracious reader? Have you been one in the past, given your hectic timelines?
Hrishi, to be honest, that's one habit I regret not having inculcated from the time I was young. So I hardly read a book cover to cover, but I do, if I have to mention one book in the recent, also not being recent, but a couple of years back that I picked up and that snatches off was, by Richard Carlson, and it was a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff at Work. I think it's great because it helps you manage the small stuff that causes the most pain and, basically tells you how to live a better quality life.
Well, I'm going to hang on to that book read, Albert. A last leg of a fab conversation with the CEO of BookMyShow coming up, so enjoy some Usher and his more. Only on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. I'm HrishiKay. Gotta love Colby. That's favorite song. One of my favorite COOs in India Inc. is on the telephone line. Albert Almeida, CEO, BookMyShow, with an eventful interview on my CEO's Working From Home specials. Last leg still to go.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
Now, I know we're a long way away from traveling anywhere, but just in the hope of when the lockdown comes down and we all start traveling again, a favorite travel destination of yours where the family, you, the wife, the daughter and all have just kicked back and said, wow, we could live here?
Well, there's so many lovely spaces, all very, very difficult to name one. But I just think that at the end of the day, home is home. And to pick a cliche, if I'd like to go hop across and unwind, it would be Goa. It holds a very, very special place in not just my heart, but as a family. I think the moment you book a ticket itself, you're on half a holiday. When you're on that flight, you're already on a holiday, and returning back is always a feeling of tomorrow's going to be a Black Monday. I know it's got busy, it's got crowded, and parts of Goa are not the same that they were, but it's still a favorite.
My last question is the best ever concert or a live gig you attended, but almost as a look back, can anything ever beat that wonderful U2 concert concert courtesy Book My Show at the DY Patil. But I leave you to tell us about your favorite live gig ever.
Very, very true that the U2 concert at DY Patil was epic. It was something that and we're glad it went off well. Having said that, I really enjoyed the Ed Sheeran concert that we did at the Geo Gardens, and a couple of international ones that really stand out for me was Rod Stewart in Budapest in a small little arena, open air like a hockey rink, singing his famous ballads, and of course the Eric Clapton concert at Madison Square Garden way back in 2001. I think these were standout experiences for me, one in a lifetime kind of experiences. So feel fortunate to have been at all of them.
Albert, this has been a fun session. I wish Book My Show and you all the best, and everybody who's listening to this broadcast, remember Theatre Live is on. Get on to Book My Show right now and register. Thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Hrishi. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was fun. Thank you.
That monster worldwide hit Despacito, only on 94.3 Radio 1. My name is HrishiKay.